can't communicate that, unfortunately. She's on 8663. I'm about to get sick. Right. 35 now you're here.
Yeah. Hey. 35, 25.
Tell him whoever that guy drives me. Yeah. Go ahead. FaceTime.
2390.
And we're down here at this intersection, everybody.
425.
5309.
Check, 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 check. Testing 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check, check.
Okay, you're on it already?
I don't think so.
It says it's busy. I don't know.
Oh, I'll get off. Okay, I'm off.
Here, do you want me to join you in? I'll join you in. And answer that. Okay. Just mute your phone for me. I'm going to talk to Danny. He knows what's going on. What's the story?
Fire. Major chemical.
Something happened to the chemical plant.
We knew it was going to happen, Casey.
How's that? All you have to do is go down and see how the place
They
is
had
run.
an employee that
Whatever. Yeah. Try to burn the place down.
disgruntled, tried to explode stuff inside the building.
What do they build here?
Oh, they're taking that.
No. Those
Right, was going to build a home, and then that millionaire came in from California, and he said, "I'll buy it all." It's all first class.
Looks like a top call. That's the owner right there. Sorry.
Great job.
Top of the line.
Is this affecting us at all?
What happened or anything?
Is that affecting us at all?
Don't know. We can't get down there. We'll let you down there.
I mean, we still have a signal.
As far as I know, we do. Well, you know it.
Everybody good to leave. Okay. Yeah.
Everybody working.
Please say that again. I was talking to someone. Please say that again. I was talking to someone. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
To have sun on you because it's so backlit.
Huh?
To have sun on you because it's so backlit. I don't know if you need to change.
No.
Because I'd rather you once you stop.
I'll
like
just step aside. I'll say something. I'll say, let's push in, and you just show the thing.
Parking is not my forte. I can drive.
Trying to.
I mean, it was creeping up. You can see how the wind's blowing. It was starting to creep up the road, and it kind of concerned me.
Yeah.
Did they say when they're taking us to the meeting?
I've heard them take
Is that our tower?
Yep. Yeah.
Got it. I'm ready.
Is that Granda over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was here.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's.
With Kay or just me? Put your phone on mute. It's shifted our way. Well, it feels like the wind has shifted. So, you know, these days we have masks in our cars, right? So who knows if this helps, but better, you know, better to use it if you got it, I suppose, because I can smell it right now as well. Scott's right from the vantage point of the different cameras we have. In fact, I'm going to get out of the way and let this one work for that as well. Don will push in. You can see there that, again, it continues to kind of kick back up every now and again. And it's not as bad as it was here. Don told me at one point it was really coming right up this road. You know, earlier, Kay, you asked me about the wind, and I said it wasn't too bad. Well, when you get up here on Heege, on the top of this hill, different story. There is a little bit more wind, as we've got first responders moving. They got a truck pulling out here. So as it kicks back up and comes up the road here, you can certainly smell it. To recap a little bit, it was around 2:30 they got the first call that we're told. And we've heard from multiple people, it wasn't just an explosion, but multiple explosions. I told you earlier I saw police officers with a gas mask at the ready. I don't see that here. So these officers, where they've got us now, I guess they feel like things are okay, or maybe they don't have them. But on the other side of things, they definitely had their mask ready. And again, we're not able to see from this vantage point exactly how close or how much firefighters are able to get in there and start battling this place. I will tell you this, Kay, the sergeant with the St. Louis County Police Department, Sergeant Ben Granda, who is our point of contact on a lot of big situations like this, he is on the scene, he's on the phone, he's taking notes. I think that means we're about to get an update. So when we do, I will let you know. It does. I see that. It definitely turned to a thick white smoke, just as you pointed that out. And so we'll see if that continues or if, you know, another black plume of smoke comes up. And And like I said, what that may or may not mean, we know what that means in a typical, wood structure fire, but it's a different challenge here with all the chemicals you've listed, all the different industries serviced by the chemicals here. And just as I'm seeing now, I don't know if you can see it, I see another little bit of black smoke coming up. So dynamic situation as it kind of that plays out in slow motion over a lot of homes that they are trying to get people out of.
Okay, we have audio.
Okay, if you're still with us online, just want to give you the latest information as we have it. This is Tower T, Heege Road. That actually is the KSDK transmitter right there. That's what puts our signal out throughout St. Louis. And then this is the old Tower T that's being renovated, upgraded by a developer here. And then beyond that is where these chemical explosions, as we understand it right now, happened around 2:30. So let me get out of the way, and I'll kind of narrate what we know as Don Galloway pushes in. Now, I think the first thing you'll see is a big change, and hopefully that's a good thing, in the smoke. Kay Quinn pointed out on the air that it went from that dark black to kind of that white smoke. Now, typically, that's a good sign, and it means they're in there taking oxygen away from the fire and starting to, make progress on putting it out. We're hoping that's what it means in this case. Most of the fires that we have experience with are usually more of a wood structure or something like that, whereas here we've got a lot of different chemicals that are used in a lot of different industries. Pardon me as I kind of check my phone as we talk here, making sure I'm not missing anything. But the most important thing we need to know right now is that there is an evacuation underway in about a half-mile radius. I'd say that's about as far as we are from that fire right now. Anybody closer is being asked to go, beyond, get out, move out, evacuate, get out of their homes. And then if they need a place to go, to the Elks Lodge here on Heege Road, the Affton Elks Lodge. Now, kind of in the distance, we can still hear sirens. In fact, just a couple of minutes ago, we saw more fire trucks arriving. Again, the first call for this was around 2:30 this afternoon, and it's now 4:30. 2 hours later, we're seeing St. Louis City. We saw Rock Hill, saw Melville. All agencies you would expect, and probably, if I had to guess, they've got other trucks that have been here a lot longer. But we've also seen them for as far away as Eureka, as they bring a lot of resources to bear on this fire. So, what is burning? That is the question. Obviously, we've said several times, this is a chemical fire. Exactly what the ramifications are of that smoke, we just don't know. We have not been given any sort of, official statement, official briefing, anything like that, except that, just as kind of an anecdote of what that smoke might be. When we were trying to get to the fire, a police officer who had a St. Louis County police officer who had a gas mask strapped on his hip, kind of ready to go if needed, said, "Do not walk under that plume." He said that smoke is dangerous. Thus the evacuation. Now, Don, if you can go down Heege Road a little bit, you can see the haze that we're starting to see, as whether it's just the wind or where the firefighters getting a little bit of water or some sort of substance on the fire, or the wind, or both. You can see that white haze starting to travel across the road as you see all the flashing lights there. This is looking west on Heege Road. So, what does that mean for the houses downwind? That's a good question. It's at least one that it warrants the evacuation that right now we have, at last check, was a half-mile radius. We also heard from MSD, Metropolitan Sewer District. Not only have these, again, reports of multiple explosions led to a fire, but there's also a leak, we're told. Now, MSD is going to handle your runoff, your stormwater. We don't know if it's affected anything else. We're going to try to find that out. But as far as MSD and stormwater is concerned, they're saying that something from this chemical plant is leaking into their system, and they don't exactly know what it is, MSD told us. So dynamic, I think, would be a good word, even though it's a slow motion situation when you look in the sky with this smoke that is just kind of hanging over a big part of South St. Louis County. More good news, earlier when the smoke was billowing and really thick and dark, you could look to the south and it looked like a much hazier day, almost like a rainy day. Now it's, cloudy, a little bit of haze and relative humidity compared to what we're used to right now. But much clearer skies than we had an hour or so ago. And a pretty good wind blowing our way that earlier brought with it the smell of whatever is burning down there. And Don, I don't know about you, but I don't really smell it. We're both wearing these, you know, consumer grade, but yet relatively significant masks that we've been carrying around for obvious reasons for the last 12 months or so. So we put them on because we could smell it, and since they told us it was dangerous, why not? You know, take a precaution if you can, I guess. But I don't smell what we were smelling earlier, so I'm going to hope that that means they're making progress on the fire. Okay, so I think, you know, I'm going to step aside, turn off the mic, and just leave this picture up, I think, unless we hear otherwise. We got more fire trucks coming. And this looks like an ambulance here, Don. I don't know if you're able to swing around and see that. It's going to come right to you at some point, so it might not be worth it. But again, this is Heege Road that we are on here near the old Tower T. And this is, it's a pretty big scene, so I don't know what the rest of the complement of emergency vehicles is, but this is the first actual ambulance. So let's just hope that that's precautionary and that they'll just be on standby. That's not uncommon at a big scene where firefighters are going to be working a long time, that they want to keep things close by just in case anybody gets overheated. Let's hope that that's all that is. But as far as we've seen firsthand, I think that's the first ambulance we've seen here. Again, started around 2:30. An explosion led to a fire, led to some chemicals leaking into the sewer system here, according to MSD. And also multiple explosions is what we've heard from people here in the neighborhood. One of the men, actually I believe it was the owner of this development here that's renovating and upgrading the golf driving range, told me his superintendent heard multiple explosions, called him a little bit after 2:30 and said he was shutting down the work site and getting his workers out of here. So again, multiple explosions at a chemical plant. A fire that for a long time, close to 2 hours, was a big, dark plume of smoke just kind of going straight up into the air. In the last 15, 20 minutes or so, as we presume, either things are burning themselves out or firefighters have been able to get in there, because earlier they told us they weren't able to get close because of the explosions. Got that from a police officer here on the scene. But in the last 15, 20 minutes or so, that smoke has shifted to more of a lighter color, which usually is a good sign when in terms of the progress of fighting a fire. And it's just a thinner, much less dense smoke that's kind of wafting over, headed south from Heege Road. As a half mile radius around this fire, they are asking people to evacuate. I'm going to try to find out some more information. We will leave this up just so folks can monitor it. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just mute your phone. Okay, thanks. Okay, boxes. Hey, is anybody using that Aaron Ritchie stuff? Because I will use it if you haven't. I will use it if I can find it. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. Slack, you're the death of me. Gosh darn it, where was that? Well, Mike and Kay, here's one thing that's changed since we last talked at 4 o'clock. I took my mask off. I'm not close to anybody for COVID reasons. And as far as the wind and the smell and the smoke, that is all improved, at least from where we are standing. Let me give you a look at what we're talking about here. You can just barely see that smoke. What once was a very large, a very dark plume of smoke going straight up in the air for close to 2 hours is now laid down a lot, and it's a much thinner, a much lighter colored smoke, which, as we've discussed in the previous show, usually means progress by firefighters. Now, so this was around 2:30 when they got the first call. We know this is a chemical plant that services a lot of different industries, so a lot of different chemicals, but we have not been told specifically what is in there. We know that multiple people have now told us that they heard multiple explosions. One woman I just talked to said she thinks maybe 8 to 10 explosions. When I first got on the scene, St. Louis County police officer told me firefighters couldn't get close to it because the explosions were continuing. He also told us that that plume of smoke that was here was dangerous. That was his assessment of it, and because of that, they were evacuating. They are still evacuating a half-mile radius around this fire here in South St. Louis County, the Affton area. Our investigative producer, Erin Ritchie, did a little digging online, and she can tell you, according to the EPA, first of all, the statistics the EPA keeps, they're in a 3-mile radius. There are about 120,000 people that live nearby here, but we're talking about just a half-mile that they are evacuating now as this wind blows. The smoke was going to the south, has now started to dissipate. She also found, Erin did, some violations, some warnings over the past few years. That's something we're going to be digging into more with this chemical plant. Right now, though, we have no official word on how it happened, what happened, or any injuries, if at all there are any. We'll send it back to you for now. Why do you have to wrap me? Is there something more important we got to cover? Getting a wrap, like. guess it was boring. That's the only thing I can think of.
We got here just a few minutes ago. Are they talking at all?
They said That's all right. I'll just do this.
I can do either.
No, this is fine. As long as I'm not in anyone's line of sight here.
Everybody good? Take your time. 5, good.
Step up a little bit to the mic. There
You
you go.
better here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try not to hit your hand here, but
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. My name is Lieutenant Matt Coppin. I'm with the Metro West Fire Protection District. I'm out here providing assistance with the hazmat team, which is part of the St. Louis County Special Operations. They provide urban search and rescue and hazmat response to the county. So I'm a PIO here. Affton Fire Protection District has the scene. They are in command. So I'm going to speak to you guys briefly and just kind of give you the basics of what we know now, with the promise that Affton's going to come out before the evening news when things kind of calm down, and they can provide more details at that point. So as long as we're fair on that. 2:33 this evening, or about 2:30 this evening, a call came in for a chemical fire at 6901 Heege Road. That's the Manor Chemical Company. Initially, when crews arrived on scene, they were told there was could be up to 10 different chemicals involved. There was also a tanker truck involved and the actual structure itself. So 3 components there. The first priority upon arriving on scene was evacuation. Initially, it was determined to be a quarter-mile evacuation, and then as that got underway, it was moved up to a half-mile evacuation, and that occurred first. So during this time, all employees of the company were able to get out and evacuated without issue. And folks that were displaced from their home and evacuated from their home were offered refuge at the Affton Elks Lodge, which is at Heege and Mackenzie, I believe. Evacuation occurred during this time. The fire was burning. It was contained to an area, and there was deemed to be no inherent risk at that time. That evacuation was the more important priority at that time. So, when fire extinguishment began, the call quickly moved up to a 4-alarm fire. So, for us, what 4 alarms mean is you just take what would normally respond to a fire call and multiply it by 4. So in St. Louis County, we're fortunate to have mutual aid, and all those things happen automatically. So dispatch can just call for more help, and it comes. So in the end, we've got about 13 fire department agencies on scene at this time. St. Louis County Police is with us. So a 4th alarm encompasses about 62 units. So units is a truck for us. So there's 62 trucks here working on this call right now. The fire is extinguished and is currently deemed under control. So right now we move into what we call our overhaul stage, which is just to make sure that all the hot spots are taken care of. And we're also going to look at decon. So anybody that was in this hazardous smoke or in this environment, their clothes, their equipment is all going to have to be decontaminated, which means we will be out here for a while. This will be an active scene for several hours. 1 firefighter was injured during the extinguishment process. Injuries are unknown at this time. I'll try to get that information for you. I know that they were transported to an area hospital. Update on that to come this evening. As far as that, the Metropolitan Sewer District has their environmental hazard team on the way. They will assess to see what further cleanup or what activities need to happen this evening to kind of put the scene under control. But as far as that's kind of the basics that I can tell you. I mean, I'm happy to take questions. I don't know that I'll have the details for you. We may just have to wait till this evening for that.
Can you put water on a fire like this? What do you do?
So they were mainly using foam. Okay. So foam just kind of, when you're dealing with liquids on fire, foam is often a better option to just kind of smother that without spreading it. So.
And any idea how the firefighter was injured?
No, I don't have any information on that.
So when you talk about putting the fire out, it seemed like, this thing was roaring for a couple hours, thick black smoke, and it seemed like over about a 5-minute period, it all of a sudden became a light smoke. Talk about that process.
Sure. So again, when arriving on scene, you've got to prioritize, what you need to do first. And so it was determined that evacuation was a higher priority because the fire that was burning was in a place where it was okay to burn there. So I think what you witnessed was the beginning of that extinguishment process, putting that foam on the fire, and you could see that change in that smoke to put it under. under
firefighters
control.
physically themselves start going door to door, or you say it's the priority? I mean,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're talking mutual aid for police officers, for fire departments to. I know there's some apartment complexes in the area to knock door to door and just make that notification that it's time to move out.
You mentioned the decom process. Is that just for the firefighters or the employees also that were in the facility?
I'm not sure if any of the employees were impacted, but definitely firefighters who were operating in that environment will need to go through the decom process. And sometimes that's as simple as just rinsing off the gear. Sometimes there's some soap agents that we can use to clean that.
Who were the?
Started 2:30. It's under control. About what time did it get under control?
That I'm not sure. I can look back for that for you if you want.
How many firefighters were actually on the scene?
Well, so I don't have the number. I've got 62 trucks, so you figure there's 2 to 3 to 4 person per truck. So you know, there's a couple hundred firefighters, police officers for sure, in this area right now.
They, I'd heard that they were concerned about attacking the fire because the explosions were continuing. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't know anything.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as those details. When Chief Foz comes out this evening, he's in charge of the scene right now. He'll be able to answer those questions.
What kind of risk do firefighters, the men and women fighting these fires, take in terms of long-term effects on their life?
Yeah, I mean, any fire we go into is going to have some hazardous materials, hazardous chemicals. I mean, anything in our home, most of our things in our house are made out of plastic. So it's a risk that we're used to assuming, and it's a risk that we're used to mitigating. It's just, it looks a little different when you're talking about, containers of chemicals and things. But, it's a risk that we're used to dealing with every day.
Do you know if the ambulance with the firefighter went to the hospital hot, or was it?
I do not know.
emergency?
No,
You don't know?
I don't know.
Was it the county hazmat, city hazmat? Did they
So
work
it's the
together?
St. Louis County. I'll have to check. I don't know if St. Louis City had their hazmat team out here, but the county has kind of a conglomerate of fire departments that work together to provide hazmat for the county. And that's what's out today.
Just because we serve the internet here at all times, we might be kind of picking up some folks. Just real quick though, it is out now. And the priority you said originally was evacuating people. Any idea how many you had to evacuate and how long they'll have to be out?
No, I don't have those answers right now. I'm sure that's something that they're looking to determine at this point, and when we have that information, we'll share it with you.
Any update on when people will be able to get back in their homes?
No, that's what we just discussed. Yeah, no, we don't have that information right now, and when we do, we'll be sure to let you know.
Sorry, I kind of stepped.
No,
in front
that's
of you
okay.
there. I'm
We're
sorry.
good. Right, good?
You know of anything about a history at this company? Any
No,
recent
sir.
problems?
No, again, this is, we're just providing assistance here, so no, I don't have any of that information.
Okay, thank
So,
you, Lieutenant.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks,
it.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Don is going to move the camera around, kind of get back in position, and as he does, for those who may be watching online, I'll just kind of repeat one so I can remember it, and two, if you missed what the first part of the update was. This was around 2:30. They got a call for explosions, and this is the chemical company here on Heege Road. And I think that some of the main takeaways were, first of all, we've heard multiple explosions. He talked about when their firefighters got here, they had around 10 containers, as he described it, that were involved in this, as well as a tanker truck, and then the building itself. But then the assessment that they made there, as you look, you can see, by the way, the fire is out. That's the headline for now. When they got here, they assessed the situation and realized that it was more important because of the nature of the fire and where it was situated, and I guess not a concern that it was going to spread to another physical structure. The concern was what was going into the air, so they made the determination that evacuation was the priority. And I don't know if you heard him say, but that means all the first responders on scene, it sounds like, including the firefighters, instead of fighting the fire, they're going door to door to get people out. And they started with a quarter-mile and extended to a half-mile radius around this fire. We did also find out that one firefighter was injured and taken to the hospital, but the nature of that firefighter's injuries, we do not know. So that's unfortunately all we can tell you there. And then he said they are going to be here for a while because they've got to not only take care of the fire and the situation there, but then because it's a hazardous materials situation, they're going to have to as he said, decontaminate all the firefighters who were in there working the fire. We don't know. Someone from another outlet asked, what does that mean for the people who live around here? They don't have a good answer on that. Hopefully they were able to get out before any serious consequences of what was in the air. But we're going to stay here, try to find out some more, and we'll have more on the air and online here in a little bit.